हरि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन भज जनरंजन यशोदा नंदन भज जनरंजन यशोदा नंदन भज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारि यमुना तीरावनचारि तीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव जय बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वरदारी यशोदानंदन भज जनरंजन यशोदा नंदन भज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारि तीरावनचारि राधा माधव जय बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय जय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद Adi Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Shri Shri Radha Girdhari Ki Jai Shri Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Bhagwan Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Wishing you best in the new year. A very Krishna conscious new year. We're reading from Prabhupada Lilamrit, continuing from where we had left yesterday. Then he began his speech. He drove right into it. He just started exclaiming, proclaiming the greatness of the Creator, and that the most important thing is to remember the Creator and remember God. He began to expand on God consciousness, what God consciousness is, and how God is everywhere, and how it behooves us all to remember God, no matter what we call him, what names we call him by, but that we should call him. He gave a demonstration which was very moving. He chanted Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, and he spoke about the power and saving grace in the mantra. He took a little break about halfway through and had some water. The last thing he said he was coming down from the podium was that he had copies of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He explained that he had been working on them and that they came in 3 volumes and were $16. Then he concluded and came down. A lot of people went over to him. Some were timid, some were enthusiastic. Some people shook his hand and were asking for books. At first, there were about 15 people gathered around him, talking to him and asking questions. With so many people around, he came over to me and said, "Say, would you do me one more favor? Will you kindly take over the selling of the books? People will be coming to you for the books, so you sell the books and put the money in this little box, and I will be with you in a minute." I said, "Fine." So while he talked to the people, others came up to me. They must have thought I was somehow his secretary or his traveling companion. And people were coming over to me and asking me personal questions about him, which I couldn't couldn't really answer because I didn't know. Some people were buying the books or looking through them. So this went on, and I was trying to listen to him, carry on his conversations with people, and carry on the book selling at the same time. Is that all, Prabhu? Okay. Can you show me the Bhagavatam? Today's Srimad Bhagavatam reading is Canto 4, Chapter 24, Text 28, singing of the song given by Lord Shiva. A bit further up, Prabhu. Ya Paramarahasya Sakshat Triguna Jiva Samanjinatat Bhagavantam Vasudevam Prapanna Sa Priyehi Me Ya Param Rama Sa Sakshad Triguna Jiva Samanjitat Bhagavanta Vasudevam Prapannam Bhagavanta Vasudevam Prapanna Sa Priyehi Me Ya Param Rahasya Sakshat Triguna Jiva Samanjiyatat Bhagavantam Vasudevam Prapanna Sa Priyohi. Somebody please. Very well. Somebody repeat, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am trying.
Yeah, okay.
Ya parang ramhasya sakshat triguna jiva sangita bhagavantam vasudevam prapanna sapriyo hime.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Anybody
Ya
else?
param brahma shah sakshat triguna jiva sangita bhagavantam vasudevam prapannaha sapriyo hime. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Pranam, bro.
Yo param ramhasha sakshat triguna jiva samhitat bhagavantam vasudevam prapanna sa priyo hime. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, done with Pranav.
Dandavat Pranam.
Ya param ramhasah sakshat triguna jiva samgitat bhagavantam vasudevam prapannaha sa priyo hi me. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anybody else? Dr. G. Nalini Kant Prabhu. Never mind. Okay. Can you take it up, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Can you repeat the slokas, please?
Am I audible, Prabhu?
Repeat the sloka, today's sloka.
Maybe problem with my device.
Huh?
No, Prabhuji, we can hear you. If you want to read, you can. Because
You
we
can't
can
hear me?
Yes,
No, we
yes.
can hear everybody.
Okay, Prabhu, what I'm supposed to read?
Today's
Translate.
sloka?
The sloka, Prabhuji.
Do you have the screen there? Can you
Yes,
see
yes.
the screen?
With the book also.
Right. Read it from the book. It's 4:24:28.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry
Yaha,
to catch you off guard.
okay. Yaha param ramahasha sakshat trigunaj jiva samgnitat bhagavantam vasudevam prapanna sapriyo hime.
Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, can you take it? Synonyms: Yah, anyone; Param, transcendental; Ramhasa, of the controller; Sakshat, directly; Triguna, from the three modes of material nature; Jiva Samgyatat, living entities called by the name Jivas; Bhagavatam, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead; Vasudevam, unto Krishna; Prapanna, surrendered; Saha, he; Priya, very dear; he, undoubtedly, me, of me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Lord Shiva continued, any person who is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the controller of everything, material nature as well as the living entity, is actually very dear to me. Purport. Now Lord Shiva explains the reason Shiva has personally come before the princess. It is because all the princes are devotees of Lord Krishna, as stated in Bhagavad Gita's text chapter 7, text 19. Bahunam janamnam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate vasudev sarvam hiti samahatma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Lord Shiva is rarely seen by common men, and similarly, a person who is fully surrendered unto Vasudeva Krishna is also very rarely seen, because a person who is fully surrendered unto the Supreme Lord is very rare. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Consequently, Lord Shiva came especially to see the Parichatas because they were fully surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Vasudeva is also mentioned in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam in the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Since Vasudeva is the ultimate truth, Lord Shiva openly proclaims that one who is a devotee of Lord Vasudeva, who is surrendered to Lord Krishna, is actually very dear to him. Lord Vasudeva Krishna is worshipable not only by ordinary living entities, but by demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and others. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Divya Stava. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 13. Text 1 tells about people who worship Lord Krishna. Krishna is worshipped by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Varun, Indra, Chandra, and all other demigods. That is also the situation with a devotee. Indeed, one who takes to Krishna consciousness immediately becomes very dear to anyone who is simply finding out and beginning to understand what Krishna consciousness actually is. Similarly, all the demigods are also trying to find out who is actually surrendered to Lord Vasudeva. Because the Parichatas, princes, were surrendered to Vasudeva, Lord Shiva willingly came forth to see them. Lord Vasudeva or Krishna is described in Bhagavad Gita as Purushottam. Actually, he is the enjoyer, Purusha. Purusha means enjoyer. And the supreme in Sanskrit is Uttama as well. He is the enjoyer of everything, the Prakriti and Purusha. Being influenced by the three modes of material nature, the living entity tries to dominate material nature. But actually, he is not the Purusha or enjoyer, but Prakriti, as described in Bhagavad Gita, text, chapter 7, text 5. Aprehamitistva anyam prakritim vidime param. Thus, the jiva or living entity is actually Prakriti, or the material energy of the Supreme Lord. Being associated with material energy, he tries to lord it over the material nature. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, text 15, chapter 7. Mamayanso jivloke jivbhuta sanatana manasastani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. By endeavoring to dominate material nature, the living entity simply struggles hard for existence. Indeed, he struggles so hard to enjoy himself that he cannot even enjoy the material resources. Thus, he is sometimes called Prakriti or Jiva, for he is situated in the material, imaginal potential. When the living entity is covered with the three modes of material nature, it is called Jiva Samjita. There are two kinds of living entities. One is called Chara, and the other is called Achara. Chara refers to those who have fallen down and become conditioned, and Akshara refers to those who are not conditioned. The vast majority of living entities live in the spiritual world and are called Akshara. They are in the position of Brahman. Piva is spiritual existence. They are different from those who have been conditioned by the three modes of material nature. Being over both the Chara and Akshara, Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, is described in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, text 18, as Purushottam. The impersonalist may say that Vasudeva is the impersonal Brahman, but actually the impersonal Brahman is subordinate to Krishna, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, text 27, Brahmano hi paristitaham. That Krishna is the source of impersonal Brahman is also confirmed in Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, text 40. Yasa prabha prabhavanto jagadanda koti. The impersonal Brahman is nothing but the effulgence or bodily rays of Krishna. And in those bodily rays, there are innumerable universes floating. Thus, in all respect, Vasudeva Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And the Lord Shiva is very satisfied with those who are completely surrendered to him. Complete surrender is desired by Krishna. As he indicates in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 66, Sarva Dharman Paritaje, Mamekam Saranam Braj. The word Sakshat, meaning directly, is very significant. There are many so-called devotees, but actually they are only karmis and jnanis, for they are not directly devotees of Lord Krishna. The karmis sometimes offer the results of their activities to Lord Vasudeva, and this offering is called karmarpana. These are considered to be fruitive activities, for the karmis consider Lord Vishnu to be one of the demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, because they consider Lord Vishnu to be on the same level with the demigods. They contain their surrendering to the demigods is as good as surrendering unto Vasudeva. This contention is denied herein because if it were true, Lord Shiva would have said that surrender unto him, Lord Vasudeva, Vishnu or Brahma is the same. However, Lord Shiva does not say this because he himself surrenders unto Vasudeva. And whoever else surrenders unto Vasudeva is very, very dear to him. This is expressed herein openly. The conclusion is that a devotee of Lord Shiva is not dear to Lord Shiva, but a devotee of Lord Krishna is very dear to Lord Shiva. Thus, hence, the purport, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namah Vishnu Padang Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Lokanath Swami Ti Namne. Namah Vishnu Padang Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ti Namne. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurvani Pracharene Nirvisese Sunyavadi Paschate Devtarini. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langrai Girim Yet Kirpatam Hamtam Bande Guru Dina Tarene. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurimitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapdantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Uttapada Kamlam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagre Jatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Saudhutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Vitam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narotam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jai Mudirga. Hare Krishna. So I'll just, the Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada has done all the explanation. There's need to be done there, but I will highlight what he has said, the main points. But before, I'd like to just summarize where we are coming from. This is a dialogue between Maitreya Muni and Vidur. Maitreya is the speaker, and Vidur is the inquirer. He's inquiring about it. Vajitas is the eldest, or was the eldest son of Maharaj Prithu and Archi. Remember, they had emerged from the body of Vena. Vena was killed by the sages and then churned, and they got out Maharaj Prithu and his wife. Vajitaswa had 4 brothers, Haryev Chaya, Dhrum Keshaya, and Vikra and Ravin, and he shared the kingdom with all his 4 brothers. He stayed in the center and gave the kingdom of coronated his 4 brothers in 4 different directions. Vajitashva also received the title of Antardhan, which means disappearance. Remember, when Indra tried to steal his father's sacrificial horse, he had come, he wasn't visible, but Vajitashva could see him, so he managed to catch him. So in that situation there, Indra gave him the title Antardhan. In a lot of places, he is called Antardhan in Bhagavatam. He had 3 sons, Pavaka, Pavaman, and Suchi. From his second wife, Nabhashwati, Antardhan had another son named Havirdhan. Havirdhan had 6 sons named Bharishat, Gaya, Sukla, Krishna, Satya, and Jitvarta. Bharishat was appointed as Prajapati, so he was coronated, took over the kingdom, and he was also called Prajapati. Prajapati, remember, is the one, the goal given the responsibility to expand the population. Maharaj Bharishat was also known as Prachin Bahi, and his sons were called Prachetas. And he had 10 sons from his wife Satyadrutya. When all the Prachetas were ordered by their father to marry and beget children, thus increase the population, they all entered the ocean and practiced austerities, tapasya and penance for 10,000 years. Thus they worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When the Prachetas left home to execute the austerities, they were on their way to do their austerities, their tapasya. They were met by Lord Shiva, who instructed them about absolute truth, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maitreya tells Vidur that it is very difficult for living entities to have personal contact with Lord Shiva, but here is a case without any requests or prayers, the Lord Shiva has come forward on his own to meet the precious princes, the brothers, and direct them what they need to do, how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva, the most powerful demigod, second only to Lord Vishnu, is the protector of pious persons and pious persons. So remember that he voluntarily protects the pious persons. He is described as Dharma Vatsal, refers to a person who lives according to religious principles. So we normally pray to demigods or Lord Krishna or for others for protection, but here Lord Shiva automatically protects people who follow the religious principles. Voluntarily, that's his personality. He is like Lord Krishna is described as Bhakta Vatsal. Lord Shiva is described as Dharma Vatsal. The followers of Lord Shiva, the what do you call the Vaishnava, disciplic succession of Lord Shiva is called the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, or also called Vallabh Sampradaya. I mean, Lord Shiva is a Vaishnava, so he has also got his own disciplic succession, his Sampradaya, and it's named Vishnu Swami Sampradaya or Vallabh Sampradaya. Remember Vallabhacharya. Lord Shiva came especially to see the Prachatas because they were fully surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the main thing there. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutestu Vanti Divyestayet. Krishna is associated by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Varun, Indra, Chandra, and all other demigods. It's important. It's a sloka. Especially we chant when we recite Bhagavad Gita. So, it's another evidence there is not on the same level as other demigods of Brahma, Shiva, and Varun, and other important demigods, but because they themselves worship, and this is not according to us, it's according to the scriptures. One who takes to Krishna consciousness immediately becomes very dear to everyone, as well as the demigods are also trying to find out who is actually surrendered to Lord Vasudeva. So if a person is dear to, is worshipping Lord Krishna, he may simultaneously is favorable, all the demigods are favorable to the person, and especially Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, here without any request, he has come forward to direct the Prachatas in the worshipping of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Another thing mentioned, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, is Jiva, or living entity, is actually Prakriti, or the marginal energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prakriti, remember, is also known as the nature, the material nature in English. Prakriti means that which is found in its natural, unaltered form. It's opposite to Vikriti. Prakriti and Vikriti, remember these two words. Vikriti means that which is deformed or altered from its natural state, and Prakriti means which is unaltered. Prakriti, that which gives shapes to or forms, signifying nature is or pure energy. Prakriti also means nature or source. When Prakriti, female, comes into contact with the spirit, the Purusha, that's male, it starts on a process of evolution that leads to several stages of creation of existing material world. Prakriti is made up of three gunas, the qualities of matter. Lord Vasudeva or Krishna is described in Bhagavad Gita as Purushottam. Actually, he is the enjoyer, Purusha, and the supreme the Uttamam as well. Purusha, Puru is Purusha, and Uttama is the supreme. So he's the supreme person. That's the meaning of Purushottam. He is the enjoyer of everything. Living entity is not Purusha or enjoyer, but Prakriti, as described in Bhagavad Gita, Aprehamiti Swanyam Prakriti Vidime Param Jibhutam Mahabhavo Yayedam Dhartiya Jagata Darsha. Chapter 7, text 5 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. There is another superior energy of mind. This is the translation of this verse. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna there is another superior energy of mind which comprises of the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Jiva or living entity is actually Prakriti, or the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord. I'm just highlighting the main points of Srila Prabhupada's purpose. And it's confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, text, chapter 15, text 7, Mam evanso jiv loke jiv bhuta sanatana manasastani indriyani prakriti stani karshati. The living entities in this conditional world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. And also, Prabhupada also mentions there are 2 kinds of living entities. One is called Chara and the other Akshara. Chara refers to those who have fallen down and become conditioned. We fall in that category. And Akshara refers to those who are not conditioned. The vast majority of living entities living in the spiritual world are called Akshara. So that's how means that we in the material world are a minor. We are minor energies also in minority. The majority of the living entities are living in the spiritual world. Being above both the Chara and Akshara, Lord Krishna, Vasudeva is described in Bhagavad Gita as Purushottam. That means Lord Krishna is above both the living entities, both the Chara and Akshara types of living entities. Chapter 15, text 18, Yasma charam atito ham akshara-dapi chotama ato asmi loke vedecha pratita purushotama. Because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as the Supreme Person. That conclusion is that a devotee of Lord Shiva is not dear to Lord Shiva, but a devotee of Lord Krishna is very dear to Lord Shiva. So a devotee of Lord Shiva, you worship him, he just gives you the benediction to get rid of you. So don't disturb him with his meditation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I just like to mention here something that I found in Brahma Vaivarta Puran, chapter 16, text 23 to 28. I'll just read the translation to you. As a result of this, a person afflicted with grief meditates upon false deities with false mantras. They ultimately become devotees of Goddess Durga. After adoring her for 7 births, that means after 7 lifetimes, 7 births, we are the living entities are worshipping demigods. They start off with Kuladevata for 1 lifetime, 1 lifetime, so Gram Devata, the village god, and then Lord Ganesha for 5 lifetimes. For 7 lifetimes, you are worshipping demigods, and then you progress to become a devotee of Goddess Durga. They ultimately become devotees of Goddess Durga after adoring her for 7 births. Thereafter, they say for 7 births, the compassionate and eternal Vishnu Maya. Vishnu Maya is another name for Durga, who is called Durga, and thereafter they achieve the devotion of Lord of Durga, the Shiva, who is eternal, also bestow divine knowledge. So 7 lifetimes you worship. This is natural progression of our spirituality. 7 lives demigods, then you progress into Durga for 7 lifetimes, then you get to become a devotee, or then you become a devotee of Lord Shiva. And what happens there? Lord Shiva, who is eternal, also bestows divine knowledge. Then, after adoring Lord Shiva, the great God of knowledge, they achieve the devotion of Lord Vishnu. So 15th is Lord Vishnu, 7, 7, 14, and after the 15th is 15th is Lord Shiva, 16th lifetime is Vishnu, and after 16 lives, Lord Vishnu, and after serving Vishnu, they achieve the spotless divine knowledge. That means you become, whilst serving Vishnu, the processor of all the gunas and Sattvic Vaishnavas achieve the devotion of Lord Krishna, who is beyond Prakriti. His devotees and the noble people recite his spotless mantras, and by serving Lord Krishna with the same, they are themselves deprived of all the gunas, that then you surpass the gunas. So it takes us normal progression, it takes us 16 lifetimes to become a devotee of Lord Krishna. Who knows? We have come through this, so Srila Prabhupada gave us a bypass. Just, I've got a bit of time, I'll just tell you how Lord Shiva appeared. Sud Goswami tells the rishis and Namashrani, from the left of Lord Krishna's back, 5-faced Shiva having the luster of a crystal appeared. He was adorned with matted locks of hair, having the complexion of heated gold. This is the true color of Lord Shiva. Other places we normally know him is white, but here Brahma Vaivat Puran and somewhere Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that it's molten gold. He wore a serene smile over his face, wore a crescent over his forehead, holding a trident in his hands, saved by the Siddhas with the garlands of victory, the teacher of the teachers and the yogis, the one who overpowers even death, bestower of welfare, blissful possessor of great knowledge, the best of all and the bestower of the great knowledge, having the face illumined with the luster of the full moon, pleasant to look at, the chief of the Vaishnavas, and emitted the divine light. He then stood before Lord Krishna and folded hands and started praying. His entire body was filled with emotion. The eyes were filled with tears and his voice was choking. So this is how Lord Shiva appeared from the body of Lord Krishna. And the conclusion of this sloka, this my conclusion, is that anyone who is a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Lord Krishna, is automatically becomes dear to Lord Shiva. He voluntarily takes care of the Vaishnavas or devotees of Lord Krishna. So that's all I need to have to, or I've got. Any questions or comments, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you so much for enlightening this text with so much of information. How we come to this form of life, or as a devotee of the Lord. As you mentioned from Brahma Vivarta Puran, there are stages. It's very nice information. Even do not understand this, but still.
It's not very clear, Prabhu. Can you come?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear, but it's not very clear. Something missing. I don't know. It's my network or what?
That's I was just explaining how you.
Yeah, it's clearer now. Thank you.
Text 28. Now, how we arrived to this condition of life after so many birth times in the 16th lifetime, then we get a body, we get a form in the form of a devotee. So it is not an easy job. And as it is said, 719. Bahunam Janmanante Gyanavan Mam Prapaddati Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sundaralu. So it's not easy process, it's a very, very lengthy process, and that is how you explain. And what is the position of Lord Shiva? He is a pure devotee of the Lord, and how he is known as the Dharma Vatsala, where Lord Krishna is the Bhakta Vatsala. So those information really very helpful to understand the depth of this text, and there's a lot of information there. Thank you so much. This is from me.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else? Any comments or questions? I'll try and clarify. Who is this 108? I've got here one participant labeled as 108. I was wondering who is this person. Any more comments or questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dharma Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I request, can you please repeat that, you explained about the Brahma Vivarta Puran, what are the texts and references, so to make it a better understanding, would you please repeat?
Yeah, it's chapter 32. Let me get back to it. Oh, sorry, chapter 62. Text 23 to 28.
23 to 20, okay. Thank you.
Sapta janmastu sanseva devaksha hare kala tada prakrti kripaya sevante prakritim sada. Sapta janmastu sanseva vishnu maya kripa mahi shive bhaktim labhante te jnanande sanatane jnanadishtatri devam chahare sanseva sankaram Achirad Vishnu Bhaktim Cha Pranuvanti Maheshwara Sevante Saguna Sattvam Vishnu Vishayanam Sada Sattva Jnana Cha Pashyanti Jnanam Vainirmalam Naram. The 7 lifetimes you are devotee or you worship the demigods. First one, you start off with Kuladevi. Kuladevi, remember your ancestors. Then Gram Devata, the village, the demigod in charge of your village. And then you progress to Lord Ganesha for 5 lifetimes. So these people who are worshipping Ganesha, so many a times we Hare Krishna devotees criticize what people worshipping the demigods. Ganesha, remember in Maharashtra, every year they celebrate Ganesha, was that Ashtami or the appearance day of Lord Ganesha, and people worshipping Durga and all this. This is all legitimate. Who knows? We have come through it. Or this is what Brahma Vaivarta Puran says. Remember, Brahma Vaivarta Puran is also compiled by Vyasji. There's 7 lifetimes we are worshippers of demigods, and 7 lifetimes we are worshippers of Mother Durga. And then we progress into Lord Shiva, devotee of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva gives us the benediction to become go to next level, Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu promotes us to Lord Krishna's devotional service. So we got to be sympathetic to people. We know we have made a progress, it doesn't mean the others are wrong. And also here, I'd like to mention that Lord Shiva, if you are the devotee of Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva is automatically pleases, is favorable to Vishnu Vaishnavas. Many a times I've heard our Hare Krishna devotees criticizing others who are devotees of Lord Shiva, worshippers of Lord Shiva. We still mention that he's a Parama Vaishnava. We worship Vaishnavas too. But if somebody else worships Vaishnavas, it's wrong. That's what we mean when we criticize others who are worshippers of Lord Shiva. So we got to be careful not to blaspheme other Vaishnavas. We got to be sympathetic that they are the progress. Sometimes we are fortunate, maybe we are fortunate that we got in contact with ISKCON and made a deviation and got on elevator. The others are still using the stairs, going step by step. They're still progressing. You noted the reference, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
The other part is, where did I get this? Oh, the appearance of Lord Shiva is right at the beginning of Brahma-Vaivarta Puran. The expansion, mentioned the expansions of Lord Krishna, how he's expanding into different forms at the beginning of the creation. So what I mentioned about Lord Shiva appearing from the back of Lord Krishna, so that's right at the beginning. I didn't know the chapter, but it's right in the beginning. Any other question, queries, or comments you want to make?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanwad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhu, one time I had I visited my neighbor, they were celebrating Shivaratri and they were reading from Shiv Puran.
Yeah.
I was amazed that in that Puran, it is said that Lord Shiva is the creator, maintainer, everything emanates from him. They just glorifying Lord Shiva the Supreme. So Shiv Puran is also written by Vyasdev, and also Srimad Bhagavatam. So there seem to be a bit of contradictions. So how should we look at it?
Remember, there are 18 Puranas, they're in 3 categories. So it's at different levels, as I mentioned earlier, that in the first stage, we are worshippers of demigods, and then what Vyasa is trying to establish is that if you are devotee of Lord Shiva, he is trying to make that your devotion is strong, so that you achieve what you want to. You are concentrating on that and not deviating. And if at the same time, if you read Devi Puran, it mentions the same thing there about Devi, Mother Durga, that she is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So depending on which level you are, there's nothing. It's for that particular, like when you start education, you're starting from kindergarten, primary school, and secondary. So you are given whatever it is, whatever you can grasp at that particular level, what you can understand. So according to our mental capacity, Vyasdev is telling us the main aim there is that whoever is devoted, like Srila Prabhupada said many times, that if you are a Christian, be a good Christian. If you are a Muslim, be a good Muslim. Follow the rules and regulations. So you are a devotee of Lord Shiva, you be a good devotee of Lord Shiva. And so that you naturally you'll then make a progress. And also remember that after writing all this, when he was Narad Muni advised him to write, compile Srimad Bhagavatam, he did mention, and Bhagavatam is mentioned that going through all these Puranas, you do get confused. You read Shiv Puran, Lord Shiva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You read Devi Puran, Mother Durga is the Supreme Personality. So the main purpose there is that you are at that level, you become a good devotee. Then Lord, according Brahma Vaivata Puran, if you are a devotee of Lord Shiva, then he gives you the benediction to progress. It's not that Vyasdev purposely confused. At that particular level, this is the right thing they should be doing. So that's how I interpret that. Did I clarify or confused you further?
Thank you for your explanation.
Yeah. Well, remember, it's all written by Vyasdev. It's right. That's why in Bhagavatam, when the dialogue between Narad Muni and Vyasdev, when right at the beginning, when he's after compiling all the 17 Puranas, he's sitting there, said not satisfied, and this is what Narad Muni said: "You've written all these things, you are confusing people." So then he advised him to write Bhagavatam, glorify Lord Krishna. So at that particular time, when you for a devotee of Lord Shiva, he makes sure that you become a good devotee of Lord Shiva. And also, if you read Devi Puran, it's entire same thing is written said about Devi. And if you read not just that, if you read Vishnu Puran, in that one said Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality, is the main creator and everything. And then when you read Bhagavatam, then we come to the understanding that Lord Krishna is above everybody. So yeah, it is confusing, but remember, going back, there are three sections of Bhagavad Puranas, 3 categories. So at whatever level you are, that's what. So what is done, that he has written some literature for everybody, whatever level they are. So, but that particular level, you become a demigod. This main thing is you become a good devotee at that particular level. Like in class 1, get the top marks. Class 2, year 2, you work hard and get good marks at that level. So once you, as I mentioned, that it takes 16 lifetimes to reach Lord Krishna. So each level we have to be good. Remember, this is 16 lifetimes. If you are progressing naturally, like in primary school, if you, before in our times, you had to pass each year's annual exam, then you get promoted to next class level. These days they have made it automatic progress, but earlier you have to pass the annual exam before you go to the next class. And sometimes people were marking time, especially in senior classes. So similarly, if we are worshippers of Durga, says Brahma Vaivata Puran says it takes 7 lifetimes, but this is the minimum. It could take even more, depending on how well you are performing your services. This is the minimum is mentioned there. Anything else? Okay, then let's round it up. यम परम रहस्य साक्षात त्रय गुण्य जीव संजितः भगवंत वासुदेवं प्रपन्न सा प्रियो ही मे. Lord Shiva continued, and the person who is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the controller of everything, material nature as well as the living entity, is actually very dear to me. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.
जय
Panchatar
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Thank you
अनंत
very
कोटि
much.
वैष्णव वृंद की जय. His Grace Bhagwan Prabhu ji
Srila
की
Prabhupada
जय.
ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Madam Devi.
हरि हरि बोल.
All close to the assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.